Hello guys and welcome to the third part of What If Luffy Was Yuta's Reincarnation, part 3. I just said that, fighting a warlord, and I was going to post yesterday, but my tongue, I bit my tongue, it hurt like a bitch. It still kind of hurts, but I can at least talk better now, so yeah, I decided to do this now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all my future videos. I'm glad that you guys are liking the series, keep giving it, more attention. Alright. Let's get into it. Begin with the recap. We started off with the Baratie last time, as Gin leaves all the Strats stay at the Baratie, and the next day Gin comes back with Don Krieg, who tries to take the restaurant but is beaten by Luffy. Byakuta arrives and Zoro fights him and loses, so Luffy fights him and he doesn't win but fights him to alleviate his boredom. But he did actually almost kill Mihawk, but it wasn't through swordsmanship, so he didn't count it, and neither did Mihawk, even though he literally would have died. Mihawk would then leave, with Sanji soon joining and leaving in tears with the Strats, and everyone goes to Nami's home where Luffy creates a storm, killing Arlong, and after leaving he gets his first bounty of 30 million. They head out to the Grand Line and stop at Loke Town, where Luffy is attacked by Alvida and Buggy, who he evades, and he also makes it clear that he didn't eat a devil fruit. Smoker would then chase him, but he takes care of him and shows Rika, and they head to Reverse Mountain and meet Laboon, and then they're actually on the Grand Line. But they're swallowed by him accidentally, and later they're taken out by Crocus, also stop the Baroque War agents, and afterwards Luffy fights Laboon, healing him and making a promise to not hurt himself and that he will come back. The Strats stay at Baroque at the place, and Baroque War agents later wake up and complain for them being taken hostage and their lock post being taken. But Nami just saying this is compensation. What compensation? We didn't do anything to you, said Miss Wednesday. While they complain, the Strats feign ignorance when past them then flies a vulture with an otter on top of it. Mr. 9 panics, referring to them as unluckies, as the two would then fly back around, dropping a bomb Luffy would then fly to and kick away before he's then blown back to the ground by the explosion. The hell, Luffy said? They're from our company, said Mr. 9. They must have thought we were betraying the boss. Can we make a request? They ask the Strats for a trip to Whiskey Peak, which they will pay them for. Though suspicious, Luffy will then decide to help them as long as they never bother Laboon again. I just healed him, alright? This guy can fly and he subdued the whale, the agents thought. He's not to be underestimated. They not agreeing to his terms, and so they begin to get ready to leave and board the Going Merry. And as they begin to leave, they wave goodbye to Laboon and Crocus. And as they leave, Crocus would then wonder, is this fate, or did I just meet that someone you were talking about, Roger? So they head to Whiskey Peak, talking about everything that just happened, which was insane. And it took about let's say a day. And they do get along with the two eccentric agents. They're actually kind of fun. They're not like bad. They were just trying to get the creature for their village. And when they arrive at Whiskey Peak, Wednesday and Mr. 9 just run off, jump into the sea and swim away. And upon getting closer and closer, getting past the mist that covered the entire place, they're greeted by a rousing audience that treats them as if they were stars. They party until night falls, and they're gorged with wine, food. And afterwards, the agents head out, being frustrated having to put up their act for the entire day. But they're shocked to hear from Igarapua that the captain of the pirates crew is worth 30 million berries. Seriously? Oh, we gotta turn them in, agrees, said Igarapua. We'll tie them up, and if we have to execute them, their value will drop, so be careful. Oh, go on. Turning around, Igarapua would then see Luffy and say, yes, it's all about... What the hell? Upon realizing Luffy was here the entire time, they're all taken off guard, with Igarapua then jumping back and asking everyone to attack. But getting in a stance, Luffy will then stunt and release a violent flash of cursed energy that sends everyone flying. Luffy, I have this. Hearing the voice of Zoro, Luffy would then look to see him on the roof, as he would then leap down from there, and Luffy apologizes right as the agents get back up and fire shots at Luffy, but the bullets just bounce off, making them call him a monster. Fine, we'll do it together, said Luffy. I was getting a bit cramped up. Zoro agrees, because why not? So the battle begins, with the two essentially wrecking everyone, laying them out flat on the ground, with some of them running away. But some new people then woke up, with Luffy and Zoro seeing Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. Seriously? All of you lost against two people, said Mr. 5. What do you expect? They're not one of us anyway, said Miss Valentine. As they began to get up, Mr. 9, Igarapua, and Miss Wednesday asked for some help because they're actually really powerful, and said that Luffy ate a devil fruit. Oh, I didn't eat a devil fruit. What? They all yell. Then how do you explain those swings, said Miss Wednesday. It's cursed energy. As they're left confused by this, Zoro points to the two agents asking what they want and if they want to fight, and Mr. 5 would then say, even if we did, you wouldn't last. We're here for some spies. Realizing their cover was blown instantly, Igram stands and fires his cannons from his hair, causing an explosion as he yells for Vivi to run, and Mr. 9 is just confused, but from above, Miss Valentine would then attack using her Cura fruit, and knocks her to the ground, leaving her bleeding and hurt and just messes up her hair. She looks like horrible right now. Mr. 5 makes his way out from the explosion unscathed. What's a princess doing out here, all the way from Alabasta, Vivi Nefertari? And of course, Igram, the captain of the Royal Guard. Yeah, we're helping them, aren't we? Zoro said. Already, Luffy was already running forward, however, as he comes to a stop before Vivi, and he would then ask, tell me what you can, as fast as you can, if you want to live. I was undercover to save my kingdom, and Baroque Works is seeking to ruin it. Luffy then smiles, saying, alright, I'll help you. Miss Valentine then leaps towards him, asking who the hell Luffy thinks he is, but as she changes her weight, Luffy would take a hit to the chest, only to move back 1 foot, leaving her shocked, as Luffy would then grab and throw her aside, causing a shockwave. Wait, that's right! He subdued that monstrous whale, thought Vivi. Of course she'd be nothing to him. In a flash, Zoro would then move towards Mr. 5, who fires a booger bomb, but as it explodes, Zoro would then appear behind him as he's hacked up, with the explosion then being dissipated. Won't last long, huh? I touched a frickin' booger with my new katana. Sorry, I'll make it up to you later, Luffy said. You alright, princess? Reaching a hand out, Luffy would then help out Vivi, as Mr. 9 would then run to her, asking about, being a princess. Of course, he's not going to betray her, but, he's just surprised. Kuro would then run over crying with his, eyes bawling, and Igram would then thank Luffy and Zoro for taking action, just as Nami would then make her way out. Wait a minute. What's the deal? I heard you're a princess. Oh, you must mean you want some compensate. Nope, we don't need money. Luffy! I'm not going to say it again. We're not getting anything, am I clear? Luffy's tone changes a bit more, with Nami then apologizing, and Luffy smiles, saying it's okay as he asks Igram and Vivi about their issue. After they tell him, they make a plan with them splitting up, and Luffy drags Usopp and Sanji back aboard while they're still asleep. Igram would then poses Vivi, with them going to lead the Baroque Works agents away, and Mr. 9 would then get Miss Wednesday and run off to the bunker, with the people that were still okay. And he was right to go to a bunker, because as the stars sail away, the edge of the island is lit ablaze by flames. Igram was instantly targeted. They got him already, Zoro said. No, he's alive, Luffy said. And Vivi would then look to Luffy, who once again says that he is fine. I'll meet him again, I promise. She bites her lips so hard that she begins to bleed, but realizing her pain and her need to go get him, as Nami would then comfort her, saying that they be fine and he be fine. It's just the world of the sea. Easy. We then fade to black. The sun slowly begins to rise as their ship makes its way past some cacti, and Sanji and Usopp had gotten filled in on the issue, but the influx of info left them baffled and lying on the floor in a daze with their heads steaming. Yeah, they'll be fine, don't worry, Luffy said. I hope so, said Vivi. We're gonna need all the help we can get. That is true. The voice of another is then heard, had just spoken, and surprises even Luffy as he and everyone then turn to see a woman sitting atop the rail of their balcony. I met your friend Mr. 8 earlier, Princess Vivi? As Vivi gets worried, Luffy would then say it's just a fear tactic as he tells Zoro to stand down. I assume you're with Baroque Works, and if I was. In the blink of an eye, she would then see Usopp and Sanji beside her, each pointing a gun and a slingshot, only for them to be thrown over somehow by some invisible force, and everyone gets on guard as Luffy's head is then hurled towards her, and she catches it. So, Monkey D. Luffy, you're the captain, huh? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to give that back. Actually, I have some. In the blink of an eye, she has a blade at her throat, leaving her terrified as Luffy would then press the blade against her neck, making her use her arrow fruit with many hands then forming around Luffy. But no matter how hard, she tries to pry Luffy away, Luffy does not bend. He takes back the hat and allows everyone to see what, she's been doing, how she threw Sanji and Usopp over. He's much more dangerous than I thought, Robin's thought, and one more move, and Luffy would then pull back his blade, however, turning and just, walking away, and the limbs would just turn to petals, and he walks off, leaving her confused, with Luffy then telling her to get off. Your log pose is taking you to a very dangerous place, Robin said. But the turn, Luffy would then smile, saying, whatever's on that island can't be scarier than me. You tell her, Luffy, yells Usopp. Shut up, you idiot, you're not doing anything, Nami said. Robin would then leap off their ship and land on her ship, with Vivi then running to the edge of the Merry and seeing her just ride off, and she asks Luffy why he let her go. Luffy would then jump down, saying that he sensed no ill intent. My cursed energy uses negative emotions to power us, so I passively sense negative emotions. She was actually warning us. Seriously. This surprises the crew as they did not know of this fact, with Vivi then sighing and saying that she's never gonna get used to any of this. Oh, it's okay, Vivi. I'll go make you something that'll brighten you up, dear, says Sanji. The cook then spins off to the kitchen, and Vivi would actually see that she's sorry to be putting them in such trouble, but flicking her on the head, Nami would then tell her to stop that. Luffy chose to help you, so it goes without saying. Zoro would then say, besides, sounds like fun. and so their journey to Alabasta begin. Hours passed with Vivi having somewhat gotten to the vibe of the pirates. Even Karoo adapted, so no, she had to, and they soon reached Little Garden, which was not little at all. Their ship makes its way through a dangerous forest, allowing them to see creatures they never imagined existed. And a scared Nami, she's scared, but she's hanging on. Everyone else, Usopp and her are hanging on. And this is when she and him would then see him leap off the ship, saying, "Ah, I smell adventure." "Oh, can I come with us, Vivi?" Luffy then saying, "Sure." And she had Karoo get down with her on him, and they make their way into the forest deeper and deeper. "She's kind of fearless," Usopp says. "What about you, Nami?" "Don't even think about it. I just want to leave." Zoro, of course, gets off as well, because why not? With Sanji then asking him to get some food, and an argument starts between them about going out to compete for who can get the most delicious ingredients and prey. Typical Sanji and Zoro stuff. Luffy and Vivi, meanwhile, meet Dory and are invited to his home, and after getting to know the giant, they watch him battle Brogy, and it all ends in a tie. I might have gotten one of the giant's name wrong. I think it was Brogy. I probably called him Grogy. Sorry about that, but I think, yeah, his name should be Brogy. Comment down in the comments if I'm wrong. So, Dory walks back to his campsite with Luffy being enamored by the giant, but also he heard the other giant talk about someone with a long nose and someone with orange hair being at his campsite. And as Dory takes a seat, Vivi will then say, "It must be Usopp and Nami." "Oh, you know those guys?" "They're on my crew," Luffy said. "Wait, did you say something about a lock post resetting?" "Oh yeah, people who end up here gotta wait for very, very long before they can leave. Seems like your crew had the wrong idea about coming here." As this dawns on them, they realize this is what Miss All Sunday was trying to warn them about. Luffy then getting morbid, saying, "I'm such an idiot." "Don't despair, little man. Have some ale. It's a giant cup, though." Alright. As he takes a seat from the cup, because why not? If you're not going to drink it, I'm going to drink it. His mouth is then detonated, leaving Luffy and Vivi shocked as he falls over with them checking on him. And Vivi would then wonder if the other giant did this. "No one who fights for this long would do this at all," Luffy said. "That's right," Dory said as he began to rise, saying, "It was you who did this?" "It was, wasn't it? Brogy wouldn't have. We are both great warriors of Elbath." As he left he's in a bloodless state, Vivi would then ask Luffy if he can handle this, but Luffy already takes the skies, with Dory then swinging his axe, but Luffy would then land on it and flip over his head while touching it before he then lands on a palm tree. With a violent twist, Dory would then swing down at him, and Luffy would then catch the hit with his blade. He's taken to the ground, splitting the tree in half and leaving the giant impressed by his strength. When he then noticed, I'm not bleeding anymore?" He pulls back his axe, and he hears Vivi say that Luffy healed him. "Why would he hurt you if he has the power to heal you anyway?" Dory would then look back at Luffy, who puts away his blade, asking if he was okay and not really complaining at all, and the giant realized that Luffy couldn't have done this. But as he goes to apologize, the volcano would then go off. "Don't worry, I only healed the parts that were broken. The exhaustion is still there. Don't want to ruin your fight, right?" Luffy said. Showing a wide smile, Dory would then run off, saying that he will pay the human back, and he would then go meet Brogy. While Vivi and Karoo ran to Luffy asking if he was alright, she would say, "You took a hit like that head on and you're fine?" "Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just glad he didn't get my hat." "Aw, you're gonna cry, Karoo." He passed the bird, who shows great concern, with Vivi then laughing, saying this is just like him. "But whoever did that, I know where they are. You mind staying here? I'll be back." We then cut to the wax house of Mr. 3. As before him stand Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, who still wear their wounds from the previous battle with Luffy and Zoro. "Don't worry. When an enemy is strong, trying psychological warfare is the next best thing," said Mr. 3. "They must be confused. An unknown enemy has planted a bomb. Who is it? Is it even a man?" "And with Dory the Blue Heart, it'll be much easier to take him down," said Mr. 5. The door of the house, however, is then knocked down with Mr. 3 saying that it must be Miss Golden Week, and so Mr. 5 goes to open it, but he shudders in fear when he sees Luffy, who with a murderous look would then stab him through the stomach. Miss Valentine jumps back in fear, but Luffy would then swing, and he would swing Mr. 5 like literally through the walls while taking his sword out. I know, it's crazy. And he lunges forward and appears on the ceiling as Miss Valentine's head is taken off, and Mr. 3 would then yell, "You're not getting me that easily." He would swing down with both his hands, and he returns the house to its more liquid form as this washes into the forest until he reaches even the giants, and they both find their feet stuck to the ground. What sorcery is this?" yells Brogy. "Actually, some bastard put a bomb in my ale not long ago," said Dory. Brogy, upon hearing this, is left pissed off as he asks, "Should we postpone this battle and find this bastard? I don't want any interruptions." However, Dory would then shake his head as he rips his foot from the drying wax, saying he has a feeling that it will be fine. Brogy would trust these words and frees himself as they get back to their battle. Meanwhile, Mr. 3 would rise from the mound of wax and looks forward to see Luffy frozen in some. "I don't know what you did, but your devil fruit won't help you this time." Luffy yells as he breaks out of the wax, leaving the agent's jaw dropping, as Luffy would then blitz him and slam him into like the wax, like blowing it away, releasing a violent torrent of cursed energy. This wave blows away everything within a mile radius, and Luffy would then land and regain his breath. It was so hard to breathe in there. Watch out, okay? As he calms his body, though, he starts to hear a ring and sees that not far off is a certain transponder marked for Mr. 3, who, by the way, is now dead. Like, that one slam to the ground, like, literally crushed his head. So he answers it and reaches a man named Mr. 0. Are you Crocodile? Crocodile on the other end would then grow a smile. You're not Mr. 3. No, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. Now the Warlord is truly surprised as he says, you must understand that you and your crew have to be eliminated, but you survive. I guess I underestimated you. I only have one thing to say to you. I'm going to come to Alabasta and I'll destroy you so he can finally smile. For real. He cuts the call out with Crocodile then starting to laugh. Some backwater pirate declaring war, huh? I guess Mr. 3 is done for? I'm going to kill that bastard. What do you think of him, Miss All Sunday? He swivels in his chair to see her sitting in his office saying, from the reports he subdued the whale of the Grand Line. He's a swordsman so powerful even a pirate hunter like Zoro went under him. And he's quite fast, even faster than you, sir. That man. Well, if that's all, then it still won't mean much. We then fade to black. Moments later, the Giants sit together with the entire crew as they are told by Luffy what just happened. We declared war on the Warlord, they yell. Holding his ears in pain, Luffy would then ask why they're being so scared. That was our main goal anyway. Oh, also I found this. He brings out a loud post to Alabasta, leaving them all cheering as the Giants would then say he cleans up nice, and Dory would say, he took one of my hits full on, you know. Really? I'd love to have a go, said Brogy. Maybe one day, not right now. Hugging him, Vivi would then thank him a millionfold while Sanji rages, and Zoro would then say, oh, forget your pervy instincts for a moment. I won the challenge. I caught this gigantic looking rhino. Yeah, sure, but it still has to be edible, says Sanji. Oh, is it Triceratops, Luffy says. Yeah, it's edible. Breaking away from the hug, Vivi would then say that she's surprised that he knows what they are, but Luffy would then stand saying he heard their names somewhere. Brogy, Dory, we gotta go. The Giants would then say that if they're fated to meet, one day they will, and Usopp is screaming that one day maybe he can finally meet at Elbath. Sounds like a promise. Then I'll become a great warrior of the sea, Usopp said. As they start walking off, Zoro would then say that he would have to actually become brave first, and Usopp would then run after them saying that they're already fighting a warlord. What's more brave than that? The crew would then take to their ship, and we cut to the, them cutting up the Triceratops, which they keep in their storage, and then they start heading off for real. But as they reach the end and they're about to leave, the Giants would step beside them at the edge of the island. Before you go, we want to let you know you're about to meet a much stronger enemy. While they wonder what they meant by this, from before them, like in front of them, rises a giant sea king, but it was not the size of Laboon. Regardless, it was big, and Vivi panicked, but noticed that no one else was, with Luffy then stepping forward and unleashing his blade. Her name is Noroi. You name your sword Curse, yells Brogy. At that moment, Luffy would then bring up his sword, one arm, and the fish would then go to gobble them up, and he swings down, completely releasing a purple shockwave that rips it in half and blows away everything. The Giants are so surprised, as well as his crew, with Zoro not taking his eyes off for even a moment. Curse sovereignty, Luffy said, as he then puts away his blade, and he takes a deep breath. Whew, gotten better. That was insane, they all thought. Charging them on, Brogy and Dory would then thank them for protecting their honor, and they say goodbye, and the journey back to Alabasta begins. But unfortunately, Nami still falls sick, and Luffy can't heal disease, so they decide to go to an island anywhere to look for a doctor. Putting on their winter gear, the Straws would then acclimate to a winter land on the seas, with snow continuously falling, but Zoro takes a sip of booze and just lays around and actually points out that someone is up ahead. This turns out to be an actual man, a clown, who would be standing on the seas. Zoro, Usopp, and Luffy, being the only ones on deck right now, approach in awkwardness when the man then spoke. It sure is a cold day, huh? Yeah, it is, said Usopp. Instantly, out of nowhere, the man is then raised into the skies by a submarine that then splits apart and takes the form of a ship, leaving the three's eyes popping out of their skulls. This shakes their ship back and forth, disturbing the sleep for Nami, who Sanji and Vivi were taking care of. And in anger, Sanji would then make his way out and he then finds a gun at his head and finds their ship filled with enemy pirates. You guys play around way too much, said the cook. Wappo would then make his way onto the ship as he takes a bite out of it, leaving the boys pissed off. Hey, you got a log post? We're trying to go to Drum Island. Sleep. A voice ripples out as Wappo's men fall asleep, leaving the king at a loss for words, and his two right-hand men then jump towards the ship, but Usopp would then fire a pepper bomb at them. They crash onto the ship, crying their eyes out in pain. Ha! I got them, Luffy. Good. And you. He walks to to Wapol, who with anger in his voice opens up his mouth wide to eat Luffy, only for Luffy to explode with conqueror spirit. This renders Wapol terrified as he begins to lose consciousness and almost falls back into the sea, but Luffy catches him while he starts to foam at the mouth. Can we finally do it, said Zoro. Yeah, attack their ship. With a smirk on his face, Zoro would then leap to the ship, and he's met by an attack with, Sanji then joining him and bothering him. But they do clean up nice. They beat them up. But the weirdest thing that occurs is that they find doctors aboard. The doctors, upon hearing the truth, about what happened, thank the pirates. But as they stand before them, kneeling, they ask, so are you taking us prisoner? Yeah, they look really devious. Bowing to them, however, Luffy would then ask if they can help take care of her friend, and they don't know what else to do. The doctors look at each other before then saying they would love to, and they're brought upon the Straw Hat ship, and the Straw Hats soon reach Drum Island. As the citizens are lined up with the guns, they are screamed at by the doctors to stop as they safely onboard the ship. It's them, the 20 doctors? What's going on here? Doctor then woke up, asking what, is going on as he asked for the arms to be dropped. What about Wapol? As the doctors make their way down, they see that these young pirates saved them and beat up Wapol, whereas Luffy will then land down holding Nami wrapped up in a little blanket, and he then leaps and takes to the sky. Wait, he's flying? They saved you? Why would pirates do that? Said Dalton. We will not step on your land if it's too stressful for you, but we've heard that these doctors belong here, and your country is in need of doctors, right, said Vivi? As the men are met with such wonderful news, of course they let them in, and even the pirates, while Usopp has Mary docked and proceeds to try his best to fix, what the hell was I saying? Fix the part that Wapol had ruined. It doesn't go very well, but Usopp is trying his best. Luffy meanwhile lands in the snow castle and quickly runs in as he finds a room and sets down Nami on a bed. You okay? Yeah, this is nothing. I just need to, sleep a little. Luffy would then nod right as he then hears some step and turns back to see Kureha and Chopper. Oh, hey. Yeah, what are you doing here, yells Chopper. Oh, just like Penta-senpai, Luffy said. Kureha would then knock Chopper on the head as she walks to Nami and checks on her, saying that she has an extremely high fever. Young man, you came just in time. Also, who told you to barge into my castle? Throwing a knife at Luffy, Kureha would then chase the pirate, who apologizes as he runs away while Chopper would begin to check up on Nami. And as time passes, the 20 doctors begin to help people and are allowed to, stay. And the praises go to the pirates, the Straw Pirates, their praise, and they brought back, what they needed. Their country is extremely sick. Hours pass and Nami would finally open her eyes, and sitting up she would see Chopper carrying a book over to her, but in a panic Chopper would then run to the door when he sees her wake up, and he hides the wrong way with his legs out towards the door instead of away, and Nami would point this out, calling him an idiot. Get lost, human! By the way, how's your fever? You can speak. Did you take care of me? She's not surprised, Chopper thought. Luffy would then run in at that moment, freaking out Chopper as he leaps back into a wall, while Luffy would then cry his eyes out, asking Nami if she was feeling okay, and Luffy is then knocked on the head by Kureha again. You're way too emotional for a captain. Get the hell out of here. I gotta give her my diagnosis. Diagnosis? I don't know why it was so hard to say that. Luffy would then stand saying sure, and he says that he's training for Nami to get better. What is wrong with my... Yeah, it's my tongue. I forgot. He cheers for Nami, and he would then go out into the hall when he sees Chopper wiping himself clean and freezes upon seeing Luffy, who says, I'm not gonna hurt you, Well, I'm not scared of you anyway. Your legs are shaking, though. Shut up! With a chuckle, Luffy would then thank Chopper for saving his friend. Wanna join my crew? As he stays frozen, Chopper would then break into an embarrassed monologue. Shut up, you can't fool me. I don't care about your compliment. Wait, what? Would you want to join my crew? We kinda need a doctor. Then take the doctors below. No. They're boring. This reasoning leaves Chopper mad, asking why Luffy wants him and his crew, and for such a stupid reason, like a doctor is a doctor, and he says he's a monster with a blue nose, and in a snap, Luffy would then summon Rika, leaving Chopper frozen in fear, and Luffy says, people who see Rika at first assume she's a monster too. Looks aren't what make you a monster, your actions are. A monster wouldn't be a doctor, would he? No, he wouldn't. She will eat you up if you get too close to. What the hell? I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out. He runs down the hall as Luffy would then chase him, with Rika saying that he was just joking. And Luffy would say, come on, let's go to the sea together. She's gonna eat me. As this goes on, about 3 days pass, where Nami finally getting ready to leave. The whole crew gathers outside the snow castle. By the way, Rika was the one that actually said that Luffy was joking. She has a sense of humor. She has more ego in this. So, now that they're gathered at the castle, Vivi would then hug Nami, telling her that it's good to have her back, and obviously Sanji goes crazy. Nami Swan, you know what I'm saying? And Zoro would then ask, Luffy, what are you looking for? I'm waiting for a doctor. Hey, Chopper, come down. Come on. As they stay there, only silence comes, and Luffy would then yell that they'll wait for him at the shore until tonight. Don't chicken out. You think he's gonna show? Nami asks. Luffy would then nod, saying that he'll show for sure, and they leave with Chopper then watching them do so from the hospital room, and he was excited to go. As night falls, the stars then wait on deck, with Luffy then sitting atop the Mary's head, and snow would fall on his hat and shoulders. Baby would then walk out, seeing a sleeping Zoro beside somewhere, and he should also see Luffy. You seem really set on getting him. It reminds me of someone. He's not a monster. Monsters don't care for Nami the way he did. At the moment, the three of them are then alerted by a voice, as Chopper would then run forward until he takes his reindeer form and leaps onto the deck. You good? Zoro asks. Yeah, it's just that I had to run for my life. The others at that moment then come out seeing the reindeer and welcome him, as Chopper would then get to see Kaoru, and all of a sudden, snow begins to fall, but it has the color of Sakura's. It's pink. They filled the night sky endlessly, and as they sailed off, all Chopper could do was just cry. It was just beautiful. Here looks what little thing he wanted to show, you know? Back at the castle, Dalton approached Kureha asking if, chasing him out was a good idea, with knives and shit, but he noticed that she was crying as well. I just hate tearful goodbyes. I see. Let's hope he finds what he's looking for, Dalton said. Sailing along the Grand Line, sees once again, the crew welcomes little Chopper as a doctor, and almost like a little brother of the group, and seeing as he understands Karoo, he already shows an extra set of skills that is very useful. And on their time to Alabasta, in this version of events, they still do meet Bon Clay, but by the time that Vivi realized who he was gone, and Luffy couldn't fly to his ship. There was a bunch of mess, and like I said, they have to have evil intent. It was a combination of a lot of things. Also, I just don't want them to talk to him yet. So, they arrive at the shore of Anohana and head out, having made vows to stay friends with an X on their arms. Even Karoo had an X before they then land, and while everyone goes to get some supplies, Luffy is actually looking for Ace, and he got his message from Dalton earlier on. He actually got it, period. He got the message. And he would say, where would Ace... He would then hear some screams from a pub, and with a smile he runs there, as when he runs in he sees the back of Smoker, before then poking his head out to see Ace, who sees him. Luffy! Upon hearing this, Smoker would then turn to see Luffy, who waves as the Marine with a swing, then clashes with Luffy, who unsheathes his blade. All this occurs, and the customers run out in fear, and do so through some windows, and in any way they can. They don't care, and Ace would say, you've been making some enemies, huh? With a quick move, Luffy would then move forward and sheath his blade, as Smoker would then explode with cuts from his chest, and he falls over. Luffy would then sit beside Ace. I got your message. Also, we should leave, right now. Oh yeah, he definitely has some reinforcements. As they walk off, Ace would then pay the bill to the terrified owner, and they'll be walking down the street as Ace would ask, was that hockey? Oh, you know about it? It's an essential for the new world. Of course I know about it. At this moment, they then see some Marines chasing them, and they run ahead with them still talking as they run until they end up meeting Luffy's crew. Luffy, how the hell can you be causing trouble already? Yells Nami. As they run, Zoro would then ask who this guy with him was, and Luffy would then stop and turn, yelling, go to sleep. Using the Unimaki sigil, he targets the Marines only for them to, fall asleep instantly, which shocks some people. It is amazing. It is an amazing ability. Man, I missed that, said Ace. As he told everyone to then run, Luffy said he missed running away like this as well, and they reach his ship, and Vivi would then quickly give him a mission to Karoo, and have him head off with a supply of water to go to the Alabasta castle, and Vivi would then yell, stay safe. As Karoo heads off, Zoro would then ask who this guy was once again, but Nami would then point out the tattoo on his back. Are you with the Whitebeard pirates? Oh, yeah. You're Fire-Faced Ace, aren't you? I didn't know you were famous, Luffy said. Of course you didn't, they all say. Ace then says that he's Luffy's Luffy's big brother, leaving them shocked as he would then say that he simply came to ask Luffy to join Whitebeard's crew. I never respected a man more in my life. More than Grandpa? Don't tease me. Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah, well, sorry. With a smile, Ace would then see that he expected this, but he still had to ask. But I'm going to help him become the king of the pirates. Not you. That's fine. I'm not working under anyone. You know that. So, you're coming with? I can make up some tea or something, says Sanji. No, I still got business around here. Luffy, take this. He throws him a Viva recorder and explains what it is before then jumping to his own little ship, saying next time we meet, you might have to fight. Yeah, and I'll win. You haven't beaten me since we were kids. Don't bring up old stuff, you little shit. Seriously, just stay safe. Pushing forward himself with flames, he heads off as some pirates actually approach him, wanting his head, but with a blast he destroys all their ships while the Strats go about their own way. "Luffy, your brother is so cool," Chopper said. "I know, right?" Vivi at this point that came over handing him some clothes, saying that the sun will burn him, so he needs to be protected a little bit. Don't want to, get a heat stroke. Luffy takes it and they make their plans, but Vivi doesn't want any more fighting. She just wants Crocodile to be incapacitated. "I know I'm asking a lot. It's unreasonable." "Yeah, it is," Luffy said. Getting more, but Vivi would then hang her head as Sanji nuggies Luffy to, apologize, but Luffy says in the most serious tone that people die. It's a natural course of life, but if you want me to take him out without fighting, that's easy. As you've seen, I have a lot of ways. With a thumbs up, Vivi would then nod, saying that he was counting on him, and she was counting on him. And Luffy says, "Also, can you let go? If you don't, Rika's gonna bite your head off." As Sanji lets go, he begs for Luffy to not make her appear, and this is when Zoro says, "Rika is actually a woman, you know." "Wait, what? You're lying, you bastard." "No, you can tell by her mannerisms," said Usopp. "I thought you of all people would realize that." As Sanji looks to Luffy, he nods, and the cook is left with his head steaming as Zoro chuckles, saying that he's found a new way to shut him up when needed. Bursting into laughter, everyone tells Sanji not to get so down, and they just go about their way. They will then go through the same events, the Kung Fu Dugongs, and they meet a few monsters, and they beat them, and they meet a man named To, and what used to be Yuba, which was only something that strengthens their resolve more to beat the crap out of, Crocodile, but now Vivi legit wanted to just take down Crocodile, like any means necessary. You don't care. So, yeah. And they also found out the truth about the powder and everything. So, for sure, everything was set in place. But upon arriving at Rain Base as intended, already Smoker and Tashigi are on their tail with many Marines, but Luffy would then now be more serious and just doesn't care. He doesn't want to fight. He runs to the casino and then takes to the skies, flying and leaving many citizens shocked. "They're splitting up. Don't let them confuse you," yells Tashigi. "Yes, ma'am." Nami, Zoro, and Usopp would then reach the casino, as does Luffy, and when they enter, Smoker is already behind them. "Jeez, does this guy have endless stamina?" Usopp says. "Hey guys, look," Zoro points, as he then, points to some people, literally making way to a room and calling them VIPs, and it seems like bait from the Warlord, but they take it and run in, only to find some bars, and the door behind would then close shut, just as Smoker jumps in, and he goes to attack Luffy, but he's blocked by Zoro. "Get the hell out of my way." As he says this, the room would then shift and all their paths are cut off as they are then taken to a lower level, and before them now would be the Baroque Works meeting room where Crocodile would reside. "Don't even try. Those bars were reinforced with the hardest metal. And also Sea Stone Prison. Your blade cannot hurt it." Straw Hat. As Usopp goes to say something, however, Luffy would then put his hand up, asking why Crocodile is even doing this. "A country? Seriously?" "Oh, it's a little bit of toppling. I've earned that right." "So you're admitting to your crimes before a Marine," says Smoker. "It'd be more scary if you were, actually scary to say something like that. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. You're all gonna die here anyway." Grabbing onto the bars, however, Luffy would then at this moment scream and pull it off, ripping it off with brute strength, leaving Smoker and Crocodile shocked as the pirate would then dash forward and swing up with his katana. He actually backs Crocodile into a corner, who realizes that Luffy is using Haki, and Smoker realizes this as well. And the Stride then makes their way out, safely, just as Crocodile is then sent crashing through the ceiling, spewing blood and disturbing the fun of the gamblers above. And the building shakes as they all run, and the machines tumble over and over, and boulders go flying, with Crocodile then standing and turning himself into sand. It's a unique stand. "You're definitely more than I expected, Straw Hat." But a massive sand slide will then come at Luffy from behind, but upon hitting him, the sand is then blown away. That's not Haki." "No, it's not," Luffy said, as he would then sheath away his sword, and as he cracks his neck, he walks forward, seeing that he knows not of what Crocodile is capable. In the blink of an eye, he then blitzes and slumps a punch into his stomach, causing a massive internal damage to occur as he spews a fountain of blood, right as he would then run in, from the other side, and she's being chased by Robin. "But I'll still kick your ass," Luffy finishes. Upon seeing this scene, Vivi would of course be baffled. Luffy would then turn and walk over, dragging the Warlord like a ragdoll until he reaches Vivi and hands her a transponder. It has everything that he said on there. Vivi is surprised as Luffy would then plant his hand on her shoulder, saying, "Also, a Marine kind of heard him talking about toppling a country. I guess it's not something a Warlord can just do." No, he can't, because this is my home, and I don't feel like it again," Luffy said. As she watches on, Robin is left shocked as this man was actually thinking this through. He wasn't just being reckless. The transponder he gave over to her was actually the one that Mr. 3 was supposed to be using, and clearly some tweaks have been made, courtesy of Nami and Usopp, and Robin thought, "He's very dangerous." "It doesn't matter," Crocodile says. "It's already begun." As he says these ominous words, Luffy would then begin to think and drop the Warlord as he walks past Robin, telling Vivi, Bon, Crocodile's gonna have him turn into either someone people trust like a great warrior, or maybe the king. Oh no. As Crocodile is left cackling on the ground, Luffy would then begin to panic, not knowing where they could hit, so for now he heads to the place where they started from. Rika. The Queen of Curses would then make her entrance and leaving Robin tensed up just from her presence, and Luffy would then take out a ring and put it on. Give me everything. As the Queen smiles, in the blink of an eye, he is gone with her, leaving the stairs busted up as Vivi and Robin are sent flying by wind pressure, while the Straw Hats and Smoker run out asking what's wrong. Oh, it's Crocodile, yells Nami. He's really beat up. As for Luffy, increasing his output to the utmost, he's using his ability that he's taken from Uro Takako to warp space to the highest degree, which was already ruining his body, but he pushed on and on until he reaches Anohana in just 30 seconds. Even though it should have taken a day, and he crashes somewhere, stopping the fight that was going on between Mr. One and Doublefinger, along with the citizens. You know what happened. If you know One Piece, you know what's going on here. Everyone stops looking off to the crash site, and the rubble would then be moved as Luffy would then stand with his head bloodied. Stop fighting, please. His powerful, deep voice renders everyone attentive to him as they begin to mumble, wondering who he is. My friend, thought Bon. Making his way through the crowd of people, Luffy would then reach Cobra, and with heavy breath say, Stop fighting, please. Cobra would then turn into Bon Clay at that moment, leaving all the citizens shocked. What the hell do you think you're doing, said Mr. One. My friend told me to stop fighting, said Bon Clay, so I will. There's nothing to it. Realizing the king was a fake, everyone now knows for sure that this was a ruse, which brought a tear to their eye, knowing that their king would never do this. They just wanted some evidence, like their king was literally saying that he was going to kill all of them. Like, you can't blame them. But now, regardless, Baroque Works was actually going to kill them, and as they approached, Baum would then back up holding Luffy, who was passing out, and the pirate would then speak. I have another dear friend. She's going to help you. Don't be scared, okay? Any friend of yours is a friend of mine, Luffy. With this, Rika would then form once again, screaming to Baroque Works as they were left completely wide at it, and the citizens are as well, with her flying forward and ripping through them like nothing, like Swiss cheese, while the citizens can only watch. They could only describe her as a benevolent spirit that was destroying her enemies. It was quite the scene, but Luffy couldn't witness it all and had to fall asleep due to expending so much cursed energy in such an unsafe manner. Everything goes dark. But soon, slowly light is then seen again as he sees a white ceiling before then quickly sitting up. Rika! As he awakens, he would then release Rika, as Luffy would then also see Chopper, Sanji, Nami, Vivi, and Usopp present. What the hell? You're up, Sir Chopper. Phew. Luffy would then look at himself and see the bandages all over, as he then calls over little Chopper, who doesn't know why he's doing that, but he's kind of nervous. But Luffy would just simply ruffle his little hat and head. Thanks, I went a bit overboard. Your compliments don't make me happy or anything, just shut up. As he laughs, Rika, however, would then ask over and over again, obsessively, if he was okay, and Luffy would then say that he was fine. Thanks for picking up my slack. It was fun, Rika said. I still can't believe you flew to Anohana, said Sanji. I made a promise. No more fighting, right? He looks to Vivi, who in this moment feels as though she doesn't really deserve her wonderful friend, saying, right, no more fighting. By the way, you've been asleep for 2 days, said Nami. Oh, I really did distort my flow, Luffy said. What will be Luffy's bounty after this? What happened after Luffy passed out? Find out in the next part of One Piece. It's been your boy Prince of This, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So I'm running it off. Peace. I'm gone.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving.